For millennia, they have stood as silent monuments to the dead, their shadows stretching across the sands of time. The Great Pyramids, we were told, were nothing more than colossal tombs built to shepherd the souls of pharaohs into the afterlife. But what if their true purpose was not to house the dead, but to empower the living? A growing body of evidence now suggests these ancient wonders may have served a function so advanced it threatens to shatter our understanding of the past. Whispers are turning into scientific discourse, fueled by strange readings and rediscovered knowledge. Studies of limestone conductivity, analyses of long-forgotten subterranean chambers, and persistent magnetic anomalies are painting an astonishing new picture. The pyramids, it seems, may have been the heart of a sophisticated energy network, powering a civilization we have profoundly underestimated. The investigation begins at the Giza plateau with Khufu's masterpiece, a structure that has weathered more than 4,500 years of history. In the year 2024, a joint German and Russian research team probed its ancient heart, not with chisels, but with electromagnetic waves. The results were staggering. The pyramid's internal chambers, particularly the king's chamber and the passages deep beneath it, were not passive voids. They appeared to concentrate and focus electromagnetic energy, acting as a colossal resonator. Every angle, every corridor, every calculated dimension seemed engineered for a purpose modern science is only now beginning to grasp. This was not a coincidence. It was a design. The very materials speak a forgotten language of physics. The core blocks are limestone, rich with quartz crystals. The entire edifice rests upon a massive granite platform, a stone known for its piezoelectric properties, the ability to generate an electrical charge under immense pressure. When subjected to the crushing weight of millions of stone blocks, this granite foundation could have produced a constant, subtle current. Combined with the structure's near-perfect alignment to magnetic north, a deliberate pattern emerges. The Great Pyramid may have functioned as a massive capacitor designed to harness the natural electrical forces of the Earth itself. This is not pseudoscience. Our planet is coursing with telluric currents, a constant flow of natural energy moving through its crust. If the pyramid's base was designed to interact with this planetary grid, it could have channeled and amplified that power. Suddenly, enigmatic details take on new significance. The mysterious copper fittings found within the king's chamber's shafts, long dismissed as purely symbolic, could have been conductive terminals, directing this invisible energy for purposes we can no longer imagine. We are forced to ask a disquieting question. Were the ancient Egyptians simply masters of stone, or were they masters of a lost science, leaving behind a power plant that has been waiting in plain sight for us to finally understand its true function? Beneath the silent gaze of the desert sky, a structure designed to defy eternity poses a question that echoes through the ages. Was it merely a tomb, or something more? The discovery reignited a theory as old as it is tantalizing, that the pyramids were integral components of a vast, ancient system designed to collect, store, and perhaps even transmit energy. Ancient Egyptian texts speak of a divine power, a sacred life force they called sekhem, flowing through the temples and monuments, connecting the heavens to the earth. For generations, archaeologists dismissed these writings as beautiful but purely spiritual metaphors. Yet what if sekhem was not a metaphor at all? What if it described something tangible, a natural energy the Egyptians had not only perceived, but had learned to harness and weave into the very fabric of their architecture? The trail of evidence leads us south to the enigmatic Black Pyramid of Amenemhat III at Dashur. Though now a ruin, considered structurally unstable, researchers delving into its foundations discovered traces of highly unusual materials. Embedded near its base were deposits of an unknown crystalline compound, a substance that, under laboratory analysis, appeared to respond to subtle electric fields. The pyramid's very layout, its internal geometry, mirrors the principles of resonant cavities, chambers used in modern energy storage research. It suggests its builders were not merely stacking stones, but were experimenting with the control of forces, centuries before the concept of electricity was ever conceived. The mysteries do not end there. In the year 2023, ground-penetrating radar scans beneath the Giza plateau revealed a world hidden from sight. A network of subsurface tunnels filled not with sand, but with high salinity water, a natural and powerful conductor of electricity. Some researchers now propose that the ancient course of the Nile, which once flowed much closer to the pyramids, could have been a critical element in this system, generating or distributing this telluric power. If true, it would mean the pyramids were not placed by chance, but were deliberately constructed upon geomagnetic nodes, sites where the Earth's natural energy was at its most intense. But if these colossal structures truly channeled power, for what purpose? Here the debate shifts from the observable to the speculative, yet it is no less fascinating. Some believe the energy was primarily spiritual, a force designed to amplify rituals, to preserve the pharaoh's soul for its journey into the afterlife, or to forge a direct connection with the cosmos. Others posit far more practical applications. They envision temples illuminated by a soft, enduring light without flame, artisans electroplating copper artifacts with microscopic layers of gold, and vast underground chambers kept cool for food preservation, not by magic but by resonant airflow systems. These are not idle guesses. The evidence is etched into the artifacts themselves. Soot-free ceilings in the deepest tombs hint at a form of illumination that produced no smoke. Copper tools have been found with impossibly thin gold coatings, a feat of craftsmanship that modern electroplating struggles to replicate. The ancient Egyptians may have achieved these technological marvels using techniques we are only beginning to comprehend. Even more remarkable are the revelations from recent LiDAR and thermal imaging studies. These technologies have shown distinct temperature anomalies across the surface of the Great Pyramid, hotspots that cannot be explained by sunlight alone. These readings imply internal heat differentials consistent with a continuous flow of energy or a complex movement of air, perhaps part of a long-lost system of ventilation or power generation. Whatever the mechanism, it was sophisticated, far beyond the primitive methods once assumed. We are left to wonder if we have fundamentally misunderstood not just the pyramids, but the people who built them. Perhaps their knowledge was not lesser than ours, but simply different. A science born not of division, but of unity, where the physical and the spiritual were two sides of the same cosmic truth. Skeptics will rightly argue that no ancient inscription declares the pyramids were generators. No hieroglyph exists to validate the theory of a lost, archaic power grid. And yet, as the desert sands yield more data, the notion that these monolithic structures were purely symbolic, merely tombs for forgotten kings, feels profoundly incomplete. The ancient Egyptians were not just builders, they were geodetic engineers, astronomers, and masters of a subtle science we are only now beginning to comprehend. They understood the intricate relationships between geometry, the magnetic fields of the planet, and the silent rhythms of the cosmos. Their temples and tombs were not inert piles of stone. They were conceived as living, breathing structures, precision engineered to resonate, to channel energies both seen and unseen. Perhaps this is why, even today, in the 21st century, visitors who stand in the deep, silent chambers of the Great Pyramid describe a strange and persistent hum, an almost tangible vibration that seems to echo not from the walls, but through them, a low-frequency pulse felt deep within the bone. It is possible they are experiencing a remnant of its original purpose, feeling the faint, amplified pulse of the Earth itself, a terrestrial heartbeat captured and focused by one of humanity's most enigmatic creations. If these stone mountains truly once powered a civilization, it forces a radical re-evaluation of the past, compelling us to ask how much knowledge we have lost and how much raw, untamed power the Earth itself still holds, waiting just beneath our feet. Because in one remote desert, that power is not a subtle vibration, but a raging, undeniable spectacle. A massive crater, a wound in the Earth's crust, has been burning continuously for over 50 years, its infernal flames refusing to be extinguished. In the desolate heart of the Karakum Desert of Turkmenistan lies a sight so surreal, so utterly alien, that those who witness it speak of a portal to another dimension. It is a vast pit, more than 200 feet wide and nearly 100 feet deep, its sheer walls plunging into a blazing furnace. From fissures across its floor, colossal flames roar into existence, licking the desert sky with a ceaseless, ravenous hunger. By night, its otherworldly glow is a beacon in the immense darkness, visible for miles across the barren steppe. The local people have a name for it: the Gate to Hell. Scientists call it the Darvaza gas crater. But for half a century, one question has haunted this fiery abyss. Why has it never stopped burning? To find the answer, we must journey back to the early 1970s, deep within the austere and ambitious era of the Soviet Union. To the Kremlin, the vast deserts of the Turkmen Soviet Socialist Republic were not wastelands, but untapped treasure troves of natural gas. Soviet engineers, driven by industrial quotas and geopolitical imperatives, drilled relentlessly across the Karakum, prospecting for the subterranean reserves that would fuel an empire. Near the small village of Darvaza, a drilling team believed they had found a substantial deposit. But as their rig bored into the earth, it struck not a stable reservoir, but a fragile, cavernous pocket of methane. The ground beneath the multi-ton apparatus, once thought to be solid, groaned and then gave way. With terrifying speed, the entire drilling rig and all its equipment were swallowed into a gaping, newly formed chasm. What had been a featureless patch of desert had, in an instant, become a volatile abyss, hemorrhaging a dangerous, invisible cloud of methane into the atmosphere. Here, the story takes its fateful turn. Faced with a potential ecological disaster and the risk of the poisonous gas reaching nearby communities, the Soviet geologists on site made a daring, pragmatic decision. They would ignite the crater. The logic was simple, if brutal. The fire would consume the leaking gas in a matter of weeks, neutralizing the threat. It was intended as a quick fix, a controlled burn, a temporary sacrifice to avert a greater catastrophe. They lit the fuse, and the desert erupted in flame. They believed their problem was solved. They could not have been more wrong. The days bled into weeks, the seasons turned, and an entire generation came of age. Now, more than 5 decades later, the blaze endures. What was meant to be a fleeting, controlled burn has become a permanent wound in the earth, a seemingly eternal inferno consuming a colossal, unseen ocean of fuel. The secret to its persistence is not written in the fire, but in the very geology of the Karakum Desert. Beneath this chasm lies a portion of Turkmenistan's natural gas reserves, the 6th largest on the planet. The Darvaza crater is a direct tap into this immense subterfuge by a constant seep of primordial energy escaping through countless fissures in the rock, sustaining a blaze that may outlive us all. It is a stark monument to a single miscalculation, a constant reminder of the volatile power that slumbers just beneath our feet.